Beale Street Theater friends, Matt Hecht here again with the Monologue series. So we are getting into session 4, but first, a quick recap. So in the part 1, we talked about selecting a monologue, finding a great piece to begin with. Section 2, we talked about preparation, the homework, and everything that goes into it to make sure that you look like a scholar up on stage. Section 3 was break it down. We talked about a beat analysis. We talked about our motivation and objectives for each line of the monologue. But before we get on to session 4, quick shout out. You can see my my old theater shirt for Dorothy in Wonderland. Big shout out to Sydney and the whole group. This was such a fun show. So much color, so much character mashup. It was a great show to be a part of. Anyway, let's move on. Level up. Get out your Mario mushroom. Get out your, I don't know, plus 10 HP potions. It's time to level up. So we are gonna talk about taking our monologue and turning it into a performance that is way better than just standing up here and reading, right? So a lot of times people stop at memorization. They say, all right, it's memorized. Get up there and vomit out whatever we memorized here. But that's not what acting is about. Acting is about telling the story and connecting with the audience through your story and through your words and your actions. So in order to do that, you need to put some dynamics. We're gonna talk about making bold choices, vocal dynamics, and spatial dynamics, and then ending strong. So let's talk about making bold choices here. What's a bold choice? A fun story for me. Beale Street Theater works with Disney musicals in schools, and my little girl Madison had the privilege of being a part of one of the Disney shows. I want to brag on her a little bit. There was a point in the show where all the actors, all the little animal characters were supposed to go hide, and so the directions are animals hide. So at this point, all of the children actors ran and literally hid. They couldn't be seen, except for little Madison, who ran right next to a tree, not behind a tree, next to it, and then became another tree to hide. So that was a bold choice. That was taking an interpretation of what we were supposed to do and putting a spin on it that nobody else would think about. And those are the kind of things that will stick with your audience, or in this case, the director and auditioner. And that's what you want for this application right here, right? So make bold choices. Find a spot in your monologue to make some bold choices. Now let's talk about, I like to give a gradient here, a 1 to 10, right? A lot of times you'll hear me as a director, I tell my actors, hey, I need you to get to a 10. And so whatever that means in the scene, if it means that we're gonna be crying, we're gonna be yelling, we're gonna be punching, we're gonna be on the floor kicking and screaming, whatever it means is get to a number 10. So make sure that you find a spot in your monologue to get to a number 10. So whether that means, you know, yelling at the top of your minds or squeezing some tears out or whatever it takes so that people go, man, I remember this guy. He got to a 10 right there. For sure, these bold choices. Let's talk about vocal dynamics. So when we talk about dynamics, it's all about the contrast. It's all about, if we could graph it out here, see if this picture was here and we had a line that went woo, and then we had a line that went woo. That would be the dynamic of the line right there. So it's very important that you use a mixture of volumes in your monologue. Now that is not to say that something quiet cannot be intense and that you cannot get to a 10 while being quiet. It simply means that we don't talk the whole time at the same volume and get boring like a robot, right? So find some volume dynamics, really work it in there, find a spot and say, okay, right here, I'm gonna step on my toe quietly, I'm gonna get them all come in, and then I'm gonna blow up on them because it's really important at that line right there, right? Okay, so talk about vocal dynamics, make sure you find a good spot in there to shift up your volume levels. Another thing we're talking about is spatial dynamics. So one of the things that drives me nuts is when somebody sits there, stands there, they say, hi, I'm Matt, I'm gonna give my monologue from Two Men from Verona. Blah, 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 the end. We need some movement. Paint me a picture up here. We got this whole space, and you'll find me, at least when I'm the director, I mean, use the space. Really, I like it when people get in my face. They include me in the action. So, a couple things to talk about here. A shout out to one of my good buddies, Matt Lambert. He put together a couple audition pieces for some schmancy school in Hollywood or Phoenix or somewhere, because he's awesome. And he asked me to help him out with a bit of it. And so as we were going through it, this one particular piece was from Hamlet. And he talks about being connected with the earth. And as I was standing up there and I was listening to him, it was very, very well spoken. But I wanted to see the connection with the earth. And so we played around with it. He got on his hands and knees. He touched the ground. He felt connected to it. I think at one point he went full on prone. And so those are the things we're talking about. Bold choices here. No director is ever gonna forget about the guy who laid down in the middle of his audition. Another fun thing is spatial dynamics. A lot of characters, in a lot of pieces, you will have characters that are not on stage with you, right? Monologue. And it's boring if you just stand here and talk to the person, or worse yet, talk to them like you're me. Joseph, will you please get the milk? Am I Joseph in this? What's going on here? So, show me Joseph. Show me the spaces, show me the refrigerator, whatever the deal is. Another shout out to Matt Lambert. One piece that he had, he talks about a lover. And I said, show me the lover. You got nothing up there. You got no props. You got nothing, no other actors. Show me. Where is she? Who are you talking about? And so at one point, he actually grasps the air and combs her hair back. And we all of a sudden see the lover right there. And then we talk and we're yelling at the other person. One thing to make sure is if you are going to reference an area of the stage with your other characters or your other places, make sure they're consistent, because the audience will know if you're talking with Martha over here and then you come over here and talk with Martha, be like, wait, did Martha run around? What happened here? Anyway, spatial dynamics. Paint a picture of the stage. It's just you. Use everything that's at your disposal. One thing that I love to do, what I really enjoy when people are auditioning, when I am directing, is when they actually come nice and close and include me in the action. And some directors may not like that, but bold choice, right? Go up to the actor or the director, you can get close in on them. And so that's all about utilizing the space. You are not parked right here. You have this whole, excuse me. You have this whole space to use here, and use it wisely. One last thing, ending strong. It's so important that you leave these people who want to stand up and clap and hoot and holler, because that's what they're gonna remember. Audiences will remember two things: the start and the beginning. So, start strong, end strong, everything else is forgivable. So, pick a nice strong pose, make sure that your monologue has a nice spot to end on. If there's an extra line in there and it's garbage, but you can end a sentence sooner, do that. End strong, give me a big pose, and I'm ending strong here. So you guys be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.